Let's talk about it, because Snoop ain't the only one. Snoop ain't the only one. But the reason why I'm bringing this to the picture is to show the difference between the current time and what every artist who's hungry to get in this game to make some money or make it have to face. And I'm gonna touch real quick. I'm not gonna talk about this too much, but as far as being independent, does it benefit the artist to get a deal or stay independent at this rate, right? Because independent artists might be making more money. Maybe not them, but in terms of the percentage, right? So let's see about it. But I'm gonna play another artist who's actually also was complaining about this. So it wasn't just Snoop, but Meek Mill himself, right? Recently had some issues with this. You know what I mean? So look, Meek decided, hey, go on Twitter. As Drake called him, Twitter finger Meek, right? Twitter finger. But anyway, nonetheless, this is on Twitter. He complaining, man. He goes out there. He said, yo, he ain't get paid from music. Don't know how much money labels make off of me. He needs lawyers. Now, Meek, I would imagine you should have lawyers established in the game and not requesting for that kind of assistance on Twitter. Or maybe that's just something he added in there. Keisha Cole stepped in and co-signed him. Like, yo, she never received a check from any record label, period. Now, here's what's interesting. Keisha Cole was around the Death Row days. She often talk about how she was part of that when she wasn't really like an artist. It looked like she was just around by affiliated by who she knew, but she always talk about her Tupac connection and all that. But a lot of her stories don't really line up because her age was so young back then. But she was around them, so it's funny how this comes full circle, right? But anyway, she never received a paycheck. That's interesting, because how you in a game that long and ain't receive a paycheck? Well, let's talk about it. She just thought about that the other day, like in 2022, by the way, that tweet is from. Keisha Cole been around forever, right? So, but this is the good thing that she did mention. Getting a audit done. She said obtaining an audit attorney, right? Keisha Cole is kind of illiterate right here. You know, disrespect. But so that you were aware of where every dollar went. Trust me, a lot gets lost in the sauce, as she said. This is a very, very interesting that she brought up, right? Understand something. 50 Cent, man. 50 Cent actually was a guy who pulled off this auditing approach when he fell out with Interscope record. Shout out to Southside, Queens all day, right? We know how to get to the money. Queens get the money. But he audited Interscope Records as he was leaving, because him and Jimmy Iovine started having fallouts, and him and Dre too, because he created his headphones, and Beats were the biggest thing, and they were trying to knock out all competition. 50 did the sleek headphone, and then they had the this little beef, right? So he decided he wanted all for Interscope. That eventually happened, but as he exited the label, he did an audit. You know how much money Queens made? 50, that is. He audited the Interscope and Aftermath, or Interscope, and left with $16 million in the audit. Never been done before, at least not by a hip-hop artist or any artist. Maybe somebody like Prince might have done that, Michael Jackson, that's about it. Let's give it up for some more black excellence, right? Yeah. Queens getting the money, $16 million. Not 16,160. 16 million you gonna leave with after you tell a label, kiss my ass, I'm off this label. You know, I mean, 50 was a big superstar by then, right? And I think he fulfilled his last album obligation by them by putting out the greatest hits instead of giving them a new album. So that worked out. So it's only to say, man, it is necessary to audit the record labels, because you do have a contract, and the contract does state that you're supposed to pay. So how come these artists are still starving for money? So what's going on with streaming right now? Do we need an audit in the streaming game? Because these artists are complaining. I do believe there needs to be a major auditing phase that comes into play about streaming, because this is so crazy. Most of the DSPs, that is to say Apple, Spotify, Deezer, YouTube, and all of them, seem like they use the artist's music as a commodity to sell other products. Besides making the money from the subscription, from the subscribers, but they also making the money or through advertisement, right? Because the more people go and engage with the music on their platform, they selling advertisement to them too. That's why Spotify is free. That's why you can listen to music on YouTube for free, the official records, right? You ain't got to pay a subscription, right? So that makes a difference. So there needs to be a major auditing when it comes to the streaming platform. So anyway, let's get back to Meek Mills a little bit, because his complaint is valid. It's his experience. He's not getting the money. He should be getting it, right? So what's really going on? And this is what the record labels will do, right? They'll give you a plaque, make you feel happy about your success. But we know, how do you really rise to success? How do you really measure your success? Don't give me the plaque that says, here's how much I sold. Give me the money. Show me the money, right? So, like he said, show me the financials. That is art made. You know what I'm saying? Everything else is a trick bag, and he read about that. You know what I'm saying? But it's interesting, man. Meek is signed to Atlantic Records by way of Rick Ross imprint. Maybach Music, I think he's then signed to Rock Nation. And now here we are, man. Ice Cube got a song called Record Company Pimpin', man. Very deep. It's a song you should listen to so you can understand the mindset of record labels. So Meek Mill continued, man. This was right last year. Now, this is something else I just want to put into perspective a little bit, right? This is Meek's one of his biggest songs, not the biggest song, but one of them. One of them, featuring Drake, 170 million views, right? So what I did a little calculation just to give you an impression how much this kind of how much this will gross on YouTube, right? This is just YouTube alone. This is not the other platforms, so meaning if it did another 100 million between Napster, Spotify, and Apple and all that, this is just YouTube. This is just a video. $1.2 million. How much of that does Meek get period? Because technically, if we to assume his contract is like the traditional ones, right? Like about let's just say it's about 14, 16, maybe 20%, while the label keep the rest. You can imagine how much he's getting off of this. Right now, don't get me wrong, man. These artists make money. Despite them complaining, they make way more money than the average person. They make a lot of money off of shows and merch and endorsements. But with 360 deals, sometimes it's a blurry thing as well, man. So sometimes artists has more fame than they ever will have money, man. But this is something to think about, right? These artists, are they really eating? We know Snoop is paid. Snoop is worth easily over $100 million. But as Meek makes clear here, we don't care about them streaming numbers, marketing no more. We need charts to show how much it makes in currency, and that's what really matters. Not just charts. Well, maybe that could be public, or it doesn't have to be public. But the idea, what Meek needs to focus on here is the fact that you have to get these auditing done, get these accounting done. So you're right. It's in the contract that you should be aware of that, right? So, and there's laws to support these type of auditing. You have people who specialize in that now more and more. A lot of attorneys. I've been seeing a lot of that, right? I've been seeing dudes that had records since like the late 2000s that's finally getting paid off of their records. A lot of these major record labels, man. So it's a good time, but just the kind of thing that people like Meek needs to be aware of so he can understand how this need to work out for him.